I found out 5 days ago that I'm supposed to be getting married next week, and I had absolutely no idea. My parents arranged the entire thing behind my back. They set up an arranged marriage for me without telling me, and only informed me now, a week before the wedding date they picked. I feel like my world has been turned upside down. I'm a 25-year-old woman, and I have lived my whole life believing I would have a say in who I marry. My parents were always a bit traditional, but they'd never hinted at something this extreme. We're from a culture where arranged marriages are common, sure, but I was raised here in the UK since I was a kid. I thought my parents were relatively modern. They let me go to uni, work, even date a little, or so I thought. They promised me I could choose my own partner. That turned out to be a lie. 5 days ago, on Sunday evening, my mom and dad sat me down after dinner and said they had something important to discuss. I thought maybe someone died or something serious happened. My mom was oddly quiet, and my dad looked grave. Then he said the words that still don't feel real. "We have found you a suitable match. You're getting married next weekend." Just like that. I swear I laughed at first because I thought it was a joke. But they were dead serious. They even showed me a photo of the guy and his family, smiling, like this is some happy occasion. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I asked them if they were joking. I think I blurted out something like, "You can't be serious. What do you mean I'm getting married? I'm not engaged. I don't even have a boyfriend right now." My mom just said, "We've already agreed and everything is set. It's a good match." She went on about how the boy, 28M, is from a respectable family that we've known distantly, how he has a great job in their home country, how I'm not getting any younger, I'm frickin' 25, and how this is for my own good. I lost it. I think I screamed at them, which I've never done to my parents in my life. I said they were insane if they thought I'd go along with this. A week's notice? Are they out of their minds? They tried to calm me down, told me to listen, that I owe them this respect and trust, because they've always done what's best for me. I was shaking and crying. I demanded to know how long this had been going on. How long have they been planning to just marry me off like a cow without telling me? My dad admitted they started looking last year through some family connections, back in India. That's where we're originally from. They only finalized everything a month ago. A month ago. While I was completely unaware, going about my life, they had secretly planned my wedding. They already booked a venue, invited the extended family, even bought my wedding outfit for me. I sat there in absolute shock and fury. They said they didn't tell me earlier because they knew I'd be difficult about it, and they hoped springing it last minute would make it easier for me to accept, since everything was already set. I feel so betrayed. I cannot believe my own parents, who I love and trust, have done this to me. I've been living at home to save money while working my first post-university job. Now I feel like all that independence was fake. They were just biding their time to pull the rug out from under me. That first night I basically cried myself to sleep, or tried to sleep at least. I was texting my best friend frantically, and she was equally shocked. She said I could come stay with her, but I was too shell-shocked to even move. The next morning, I didn't go to work. I just couldn't. I called in sick, which is not far from the truth because I felt nauseous from stress and crying. My parents acted all hurt that I yelled at them, and that I was ungrateful. They said I should be honored to have such a grand wedding planned for me without me lifting a finger. I couldn't even speak to them without feeling like I might explode. By Monday afternoon, I calmed down enough to realize I needed more information. I asked my mom for details about this guy they want me to marry. Let's call him R. I was stone-faced, trying not to cry or start screaming again. Mom seemed relieved that I was at least willing to listen. She said R is 28, he's from a good family we distantly know, he's educated, has a master's in engineering, and currently works in his father's business. They basically sold me his resume like I'm supposed to swoon. I asked if he even knows that I had no clue about this. She said his family didn't want me to know until things were finalized either. So apparently everyone was in on this secret except me, and maybe R? I asked if R had agreed to marry someone he's never properly met. Mom said, well, we met once when we were kids long ago. I have zero memory of this, and that he trusts his parents' choice. I just sat there feeling like my life is some business transaction. Sounds like R is totally on board with an arranged marriage. Maybe he's super traditional, or maybe he's being forced to, I don't know. I got part of my answer later that day, when R himself called me. Yeah, Monday evening I get a call from an unknown number. Normally I wouldn't pick up, but I did, and it was him. The guy supposedly becoming my husband in a few days. He sounded oddly cheerful. The call was awkward as hell. He introduced himself and said, I know this must be a lot to take in, but I wanted to personally say hi and let you know I'm really looking forward to meeting you again. Meeting me again. He made it sound like this was some happy reunion and not a nightmare for me. I was pretty cold on the phone. I said, this is all very sudden for me. I actually had no idea my parents were arranging this until yesterday. I was testing whether he knew. He actually had the nerve to chuckle and go, yes, I heard you just found out. I'm sorry they kept you in the dark, but they told me you'd come around to it. It's a lot of pressure, I understand. He understands? I couldn't even respond for a second because I was so angry. This guy knew I was being ambushed and he went along with it. I asked him flat out if he was really okay marrying someone who isn't a fully willing participant. He said something like, "Well, our parents know what's best for us. But hey, that's why I wanted to talk to you, so we can get to know each other a little. Maybe we can meet for coffee or dinner tomorrow. I think once we meet, you'll feel better about everything." I was in disbelief. He sounded so casual, like this was a blind date set up by friends, not a forced marriage with 1 week's notice. I told him I needed time, and I pretty much hung up on him because I was on the verge of either screaming or sobbing into the phone. After that call, I felt even worse. Part of me was almost hoping maybe he was also being forced and we could ally together to stop this. But no, he seems fine with it. Either he really trusts his parents that much, or he doesn't care that I'm basically being coerced. Neither is comforting. Over the next day or two, my house turned into Wedding Central. I'm not even kidding. My mom and aunts, who apparently also all knew and kept this secret from me, started bustling around with decorations, cooking plans, calling relatives. They're acting like I'm a doll they can dress up and put on display. They even took time off work to get things ready. It's like they assume I'm just going to shut up and accept it now. Meanwhile, I'm just a wreck. I vacillate between anger, fear, and a deep sadness. I can't believe this is happening. I always had a decent relationship with my parents, or so I thought. Sure, they can be strict and we argue about stuff like me staying out late or them not loving the idea of me dating, but this is a whole other level. It's like I never knew them. How could they do this to me? I tried reasoning with my dad on Tuesday. I told him I don't want this, that I refuse to be part of this arrangement. He told me it's too late, and that everything has been paid for and arranged. He said if I back out now, not only will I embarrass our family in front of everyone, but we'll lose a ton of money and ruin our reputation. The reputation thing is such BS. Who cares what some judgmental aunties think? Apparently my parents do, a lot. Dad even said he could lose his job because his boss is a distant relative of ours family and was the one who initially suggested this match. I don't even know if that's true or just more emotional blackmail. Every conversation with them turns into a guilt trip. Mom starts crying about how she only ever wanted the best for me, and how I'm breaking her heart by not trusting her judgment. Dad gets angry and says I'm acting like a selfish child and not thinking about the family. It's manipulation from all sides. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. That brings me to now, Wednesday night. The wedding, if it even happens, is supposed to be this coming Sunday. Invitations have gone out. People are actually flying in from abroad for this. Yep, they kept the whole extended family in the loop. Everyone except the bride. I'm sitting here in my room, door locked, typing this out, because I feel like I need to share this or I'll literally lose my mind. I've eaten maybe one proper meal in 3 days. My friend is begging me to just leave and crash at her place, but part of me is almost paralyzed, like I'm stuck in a nightmare and can't wake up. Another part of me feels horribly guilty at the thought of running away because it will cause a huge scandal and basically detonate my family. I know a lot of people might say just say no, they can't force you. And logically, yes, I'm an adult. They can't legally force me to marry someone. But the emotional pressure is something else entirely, and I worry, what if they physically try to stop me from leaving on the wedding day? I wouldn't put it past my dad to literally drag me to the altar given how he's acting. They have invested so much, venue, catering, etc., and they're so obsessed with saving face that I genuinely fear something crazy might happen if I try to make a break for it in public. Also, there's this deep sadness, because I know if I refuse and sabotage this wedding, my relationship with my parents might be over. They're basically choosing their pride and tradition over me, but if I choose myself over them, it feels like an awful loss too. I always wanted them at my real wedding someday, to someone I love, on my own terms. I never imagined I'd be at war with them like this. At this point, I'm emotionally exhausted and terrified. I'm angry at them, at this whole messed up situation. I have a few days left to either cave to their demands or fight back. Right now it feels like no matter what I do, I lose. I haven't agreed to anything yet. As of now, I've just been locking myself in my room whenever I can, avoiding the wedding prep as much as possible. They've tried to get me involved. My mom actually tried to get me to try on the bridal outfit they bought without me present, and I nearly tore it off the hanger in rage. I have never felt fury like that in my life. I don't know what to do. Part of me is thinking I should just run, go to my friend's place, or even call the police if it comes to that on the day. Another part is so hurt that my own family put me in this position. I keep hoping maybe they'll come to their senses if I just hold out. But they seem convinced I'll come around. Has anyone ever been in a situation like this? I feel so alone and helpless. I always thought arranged marriages were something that happened, with at least the person's knowledge or consent, not like this ambush. This is supposed to be my life, my choice. I want to scream at the top of my lungs that this is not okay. I have about 4 days left until I'm supposed to be a bride at a wedding I never agreed to. I'm at a complete loss. If anyone has any advice or even just words of support, I could really use it. I never imagined my parents would betray me like this, and the pain is almost worse than the anger. I'm broken right now. TLDR. My parents secretly arranged my marriage and planned a wedding for me, only telling me a week before. I'm furious, heartbroken, and feel trapped. I have no idea what to do with just days left before the date. Update 1. Friday evening. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who reached out with support, advice, and even just outrage on my behalf. I didn't expect my post to get so much attention, but seeing so many people validate my feelings gave me the push I needed. A lot has happened in the last 2 days. I'm still processing it, but I wanted to update because so many of you were asking if I was okay. On Thursday, things hit a boiling point. My parents could tell I was completely uncooperative. I refused to come out of my room most of the day. I didn't attend a small pre-wedding family dinner they tried to host. I basically shut down. They were furious and desperate. My dad actually threatened to cut off my internet and phone if I didn't start behaving, the irony, as if making me more isolated would somehow make me more compliant. That's when I knew I had to act fast if I was going to get out of this. Many of you urged me to leave the house immediately. So yesterday, Thursday evening, I quietly packed a small bag with essentials. A couple changes of clothes, my important documents, passport, birth cert, etc., some cash I had stashed, and my laptop and charger. I felt like a thief in my own home, sneaking around. My heart was hammering the whole time. I waited until about 1 a.m., when the house was silent and my parents were asleep. Then I made my move. I climbed out of my bedroom window. Thankfully, I'm on the ground floor. I left a note on my bed simply saying, "I'm safe. I am not going through with the wedding," and nothing else. I didn't want them thinking I'd been kidnapped or something, but I also couldn't face them. With my backpack on and my shoes in hand, I slipped into the night. My best friend, let's call her S, was waiting down the street in her car. We had coordinated by text earlier, under the guise of me venting, so my parents wouldn't suspect a thing. S drove me to her flat. When I tell you I broke down sobbing in her car once we were safely away, it was like everything hit me all at once. Relief, fear, grief. I was crying so hard I nearly threw up. S just held my hand and kept saying I was doing the right thing, that I'm safe now. I crashed on her couch and slept harder than I have in days, though it was a shaky sleep. This morning, Friday, I woke up to a barrage of missed calls and texts. As expected, all hell broke loose when they discovered me gone. 20 missed calls from Mom, 15 from Dad, even a few from aunties and unknown numbers, probably relatives trying to talk sense into me. The text messages ranged from frantic and pleading to absolutely enraged. My mom's first text, "Please come home. We can talk, sweetie. Let's just discuss this as a family." Then, "Where are you? Please, we're so worried." Those were quickly followed by my dad's. He said he is beyond disappointed in me, that I've humiliated them and our entire family, and that if I don't return by this evening, I will no longer be their daughter, among other harsh things. According to him, I'm throwing away my future. I've been brainwashed by Western ideas, and I'm an ungrateful disgrace. It was a lot. Reading those messages hurt, even though I expected that reaction. I haven't replied to my parents yet. S helped me draft a short text basically saying, "I am safe. I will not be attending any wedding on Sunday. I need space, and I will reach out when I'm ready. Do not attempt to find me. I'm an adult making my own choice. I haven't hit send yet, but I plan to once I muster the courage. I know once I do, that bridge might be burned forever." Surprisingly, or not, R also contacted me. Late last night, while I was en route to S's place, he texted from his number, so I guess my parents immediately informed him I was missing. At around midnight, he sent, "Your parents are worried. Where are you?" I ignored it. Then this morning, another text from him. "I know this is scary for you, but running away is very immature. We could have talked it out. You're making a big mistake. Think of your parents." That one made my blood boil. I'm immature? I don't think he realizes or cares that the entire situation is fundamentally wrong. I don't intend to reply to him either. In my mind, he's a stranger and I owe him nothing. S has been amazing through all of this. She's letting me stay as long as I need to. We spent the day making sure I cover my bases. I changed passwords on important accounts in case my parents try to access anything, turned off any location tracking on my phone, and we even talked about me possibly getting a new SIM card/number if the harassment doesn't let up. We also found contact info for some organizations that help people in forced marriage situations here in the UK. There's a government forced marriage unit with a hotline. I haven't called anyone yet, but having those numbers saved in my phone makes me feel a bit more secure, like I have an emergency plan. For now, I'm laying low. S insisted I take the spare bedroom, not just the couch, and she's been plying me with tea and biscuits and a lot of hugs. Only she and one other close friend know where I am. I haven't even told my brothers. I have 2 younger brothers still living at home, where I went. One of them texted just asking if I'm okay, and the other one actually texted that I'm being selfish and I should just do it to keep the peace. So yeah, I don't exactly have a ton of allies in my family on this. I might reach out to the one brother who seemed concerned, but I'm wary. Right now, I trust basically no one except my friends. As the day went on, the tone of my parents' messages started shifting from anger to desperation. Or maybe manipulation. My mom texted that she's crying non-stop and that I'm breaking her heart. She said I was her favorite child and she can't believe I'd do this to them. That one made me burst into bitter laughter. This is a hell of a way to show it, Mom. Dad hasn't softened. His last message was basically, if you're not back by tomorrow, don't expect to be part of this family anymore. So that's where we stand. It's Friday evening now, 2 days until the dreaded Sunday wedding date. S and I have been binge-watching stupid comedies to distract me, but every few minutes my mind drifts back to the situation. I know my parents and ours family must be in full-on panic/disaster mode, trying to figure out what to do. I have no idea what's going to happen with the planned events this weekend. I assume it's effectively off now. You can't have a wedding without the bride, but I'm sure it's causing huge shockwaves in our community and extended family. There's a storm brewing on the family WhatsApp group too. I haven't said anything there, but I see messages flying around. It's clear my parents haven't told everyone the truth, probably too embarrassed. I saw a message from an uncle. We heard the event Sunday is canceled. What happened? And a vague reply from my dad about a medical emergency. Oh boy. Part of me wants to scream out the truth to all of them, but I'm holding off. I'll let my parents deal with their pride on their own for now. Honestly, I'm a mess of emotions. Relieved that I escaped. Angry that it came to this. Guilty for the chaos and humiliation my parents are experiencing. They brought it on themselves, I know, but I can't help feeling bad that they're hurting. And overwhelmingly sad. I've essentially just lost my family, or at least opened a rift that might never heal. It's a lot to process. But even with all that, I feel certain I did the right thing. The further I get from that house, the clearer I can think. And I know for a fact that I could not have gone through with that wedding. I would have been miserable, and it likely would have destroyed me. I'll post another update after the weekend, once the supposed wedding date has come and gone. I'm not sure what will happen between now and then, but I'm bracing myself for whatever comes. Thank you again to everyone who encouraged me to value myself. That's what I'm trying to do. Update 2, after the wedding date. I'm writing this final update on Monday. And, wow, what a weekend. I'm physically safe, but emotionally, things are pretty raw. I wish I had a neat, happy ending, but this is real life, and it's messy as hell. The wedding was supposed to happen on Sunday. Of course it didn't. I wasn't there, but the fallout has been intense. On Saturday, I sent that text to my parents, the one S helped me write, making it crystal clear I wasn't coming back for Sunday. I sent it in the morning and immediately turned my phone off for a few hours because I was shaking so badly and couldn't handle seeing their reaction right away. When I turned it back on, there were more messages, but I didn't read them immediately. Instead, I got an update through a back channel. My sympathetic younger brother, let's call him Bro1, got in touch with S to check if I was safe, and he passed along what was happening at home. Apparently Saturday was chaos. My mom had a panic attack or something when they realized I really wasn't coming back. An ambulance was actually called, because she was hyperventilating. She's okay, as far as I know. She didn't need to go to the hospital or anything in the end. My dad was running around trying to figure out how to handle the public humiliation. Relatives and family friends who were in town for the wedding were confused and alarmed. My parents told everyone that the wedding was, quote, postponed due to a medical emergency. In other words, they tried to save face by vaguely implying I had some sudden illness. Bro1 told me he heard Dad privately telling a few key people that I had a mental breakdown. Honestly, not entirely untrue, but framing it like that still makes me angry. Ours family, oh boy. According to Bro1, ours parents were livid. They flew in for this, as did a lot of people. And with less than a day's notice, everything was off. My parents and ours parents had some kind of closed-door meeting at our house Saturday evening. Lots of raised voices. Bro1 wasn't privy to all of it, but he said it sounded like an all-out blame game. Our side blamed my parents for not controlling their daughter, vomit. And my parents were blaming our side for insisting on this rushed, secretive setup in the first place. At one point, Bro1 heard ours mom screaming that I'm a disgrace, and she never wants our name associated with that girl again. So, I guess that engagement is well and truly over. Fine by me. As for R himself, I have mixed news. He did try to reach out one more time. On Saturday night, after that disaster meeting, he sent me a long paragraph via text. It read like half apology, half guilt trip. The gist was, he's sorry it turned out this way, but I handled it poorly by running off. He said he truly believed we could have been happy if I'd just given him and the arrangement a chance. He also slipped in that I should have trusted my parents because they were doing what they thought best. That part actually made me laugh. Even after all this, he still thinks my parents were in the right. I didn't answer him. There's nothing to say. Maybe he really convinced himself this could have worked. Or maybe he's just saving face. Either way, I'm done with him. I blocked his number after that final text. Now the aftermath with my family. It's rough. My parents have essentially cut me off, at least for now. On Sunday, wedding day, neither of them contacted me directly. Instead, I got a text from Bro1, the nice brother, that simply said, "They're saying you are not to come home. Dad says you've made your choice." It hurt, but in a way I was expecting it. I'm effectively disowned, I guess. I was bracing for that outcome, yet it's still a punch to the gut. These are my parents. People who raised me, loved me, or so I thought, and because I wouldn't agree to ruin my own life for their pride, they shut the door on me. Part of me is furious. Part of me is grieving. It's a very weird mix of feelings to lose your family like this. As for Sunday itself, while my wedding did not happen, something did. Late last night I heard from a cousin that some kind of gathering went on Sunday at the venue my parents had booked. Essentially, they turned the canceled wedding into a prayer meeting/family meetup? It's bizarre. I think they were trying to save face and also mollify the guests who flew in. So they all met at the venue, without me or a groom, obviously, to have a lunch and sort of officially announce that the marriage was not happening due to unforeseen circumstances. According to my cousin, it was the most awkward event ever. People were apparently whispering about whether I'd gone off the deep end or if some tragedy happened. One relative even floated the theory that I might have been secretly pregnant, and my parents found out and canceled the wedding. I almost laughed at the absurdity. The gossip mill is in overdrive. I haven't spoken to my parents directly, but through Bro One and that cousin, I pieced together that my dad is basically humiliated and hiding in the house now. My mom is angry at everyone, me for obvious reasons, my dad for not fixing it, ours family for calling me names. Supposedly on Sunday night, I was the topic of a big family discussion, without me of course, where some of the older relatives tried to play mediator, saying things like, maybe give her some time, or at least she didn't marry and then run, she spoke up before. Thank you, reasonable auntie. But others said I need to apologize and come home on my knees, etc. So the family is split. It's a mess. And here I am, at S's flat, now basically with no family, except one brother secretly checking on me. I don't know what's next for me in terms of family relationships. Will my parents ever cool down and talk to me again? Will I even want to talk to them if they do? Right now, the hurt is so deep I can't imagine forgiving them. They literally chose their honor over their daughter. Practically speaking, I have to figure out my life from here. I only had a few clothes and things with me when I ran. S says we can swing by my house sometime to pick up my other stuff, but given I'm not allowed home, that might be tricky. I might have to coordinate through Bro One, or maybe go when my parents are out. Or honestly, I might just leave a lot behind and start fresh. I have some savings and I'll get my next paycheck soon. I'll probably look for a place of my own or stay with S until I can. Work has been understanding. I ended up telling my manager a bit of what happened. Not the full story, just that I had a family emergency and might need some personal days. Emotionally, I won't lie, I'm not okay. I have breakdowns at random times, like I was eating toast this morning and just started crying uncontrollably. It hits me in waves. I feel so relieved to have escaped what could have been a lifetime of misery, and then I feel crushing sadness that doing so meant shattering my relationship with my family. I have moments of confidence where I think, yes, I stood up for myself, damn right, and moments of second guessing, like, did I overreact? Could I have somehow convinced them without running? Then I shake that off, reminding myself I tried reasoning and they gave me no choice. To those who encouraged me to put myself first, thank you. You likely saved me from a terrible fate. I may have lost a lot, but I kept my freedom and dignity. I will never regret that, no matter how painful the fallout.